Hi guys, Debbie here. Welcome back. Today's video, we are so close to the end of our journals and we are going to be focusing on finishing touches for our journal cards, as well as making some little notes, little note papers to put into the tuck spots in our journals. So anyway, let's get going here. We'll start with the journal cards. Let me just get that aside over there. I went ahead off camera and have done the ties. So we did journal cards. So let me just grab one over here. We finished our journal cards. I went ahead off camera and I have done all of the outlines. I did the antiquing on the back of mine, wherever you're going to journal or whoever's going to use this is going to journal. I just like a finished look, so I've done the antiquing and I did it all off camera so as not to bore you. Then I got anything that I thought I would like to use as ties. So I have a little basket over here. I have my little woolly bits. I have my little fabric scraps. I cut strips of fabric and then I kind of go like that with my hands and it pulls, you can see it pulls the little shabby ends, the threads off the edge. So just pull the threads off and then you're left with a nice little shabby piece. Or if you have zigzag scissors, you can cut some strips of fabric, and you can use anything, you know, use the lining of an old curtain. You can use, you know, a piece of old clothing, or if you're a sewer and you have some fabric strips. So anyway, that's just an option. Different textures of wool, if you find something that goes nicely with your journal. I have all of these odd little bits. Anyway, there's all kinds. There's one that's been cut with a, let me move that out of the way so you can see better. That's been cut with a zigzag scissors. That's been ripped. There's my little woolly bits. Gardener's twine. This is fabulous. I use this all the time and I got that from the dollar store and it comes in this handy dandy tin. Still even has the price on the bottom. Some raffia paper, raffia ribbon, if you like raffia ribbon, and I've used that many times. So yeah, so get your little bits together and let's get going, and I'm going to show you what I did. So just literally through the punched holes, I've tied ribbons and threads and things, and I literally just under knot tie, over knot tie, and that's the way I do mine. So fabric strips, different fabric strips, you can see what I've done here. This one I've used a little bit of embroidery thread plus a piece of gardener's twine, and anything else that's different here. Let's have a look. This one over here, I've used my stripped fabric, and then I used some of that eyelash wool, some of the eyelash wool, and I think that looks kind of cute. I just like textures. Texture adds interest to your journals. So you can see I've done them all, and they all have something a little bit different. This one here, I used, I just cut a little piece of lace, a strip of lace, and then I used my antiquing just to dirty it up a little, and I thought that went nicely. It's very delicate and makes a nice statement though with that particular card. So you can see they're all somewhat different. They're all somewhat different, but they add some nice texture to your journal. So that's what I did off camera. I also, when I start journaling and I look at my journal book, I look and see what I might want to use for stamps. Now I have a big folder of stamps and it's about that thick. And when I first started journaling, I would look at a page and go and get my binder and try and decide what stamp to use. I was wasting so much time. It was making me crazy. So now, before I start journaling, I look at all my papers, I go to my stamps and I say, okay, I want some butterflies, I want a little bit of flowers, there's a little heart on here. I always use that. That's for my dictionary page. And I put them in this little container, and when I'm going through my book afterwards to do some stamping, I do not look any further. Even though I look at a page and I say, oh, I have a stamp that would look better here, I fight the urge to do that, and I only use what's in front of me. That way I get the job done and it ends up looking beautiful anyway. I have some stencils. I chose a couple of stencils, or 3 actually. that if I want to do some stenciling on the back of the cards, I have these at hand and I will look no further because I have many stencils too. And a lot of these I got from the dollar store. The stamps I got from Dollar Tree, Dollar Store, and odd places. I even ordered a couple on Amazon. But you don't need a lot. Butterflies, flowers, birds, and some patterns. And after that, seriously, you don't really need a lot. Anyway, we're just going to go through a few of these, and I'm going to show you that I may just stamp a few, and I'm not going to do them all on camera because that will make you crazy too. So I'm going to do, this is sort of flowery, so I'm going to do just a little stamp, and you don't have to stamp every single one of them. But I'm just going to put a little stamp over there, and that's it. So it just spruces it up just a little. This one over here, I put a sticker on, so no need to worry about that. This is another flowery one as well, and I put a little strip of scrap paper that I had in my pile, so I feel that doesn't need anything either. This one over here, I've already stamped. And this one over here is a butterfly one. So I think I'm going to do a little butterfly on here, or maybe not so little butterfly. I haven't used that one yet. So let's do a butterfly on the back here. I'm literally just going to press that into my stamp and get some ink on it. The stamp pad is well used, and it is getting maybe a little towards its end. Is that upside? Yeah, that's the right way up. I find with these rubber stamps, you just hold it down for a little bit to allow the ink to get onto your page. Lift it up, and there you are. Doesn't need any more than that. So I think I think that's enough. You get the point where I'm going with this. Go through your cards, and if you don't have stamps, but you do have stickers, put a little sticker. If you don't have stamps or stickers, do something on the outline, and maybe you can just write one word on there, or leave it like that. It really doesn't matter. Or make a tiny little paper collage. You know how we did the fabric collage? We'll do one little piece of paper, and then another colored little piece of paper, and then another little piece of paper on top. Just glue, glue, and glue, and see what that looks like. Or leave them plain. It's totally up to you. Anyway, guys, that's our journal cards, and I hope yours are coming along, and I do hope that I've given you some ideas here. Now we're going to go to the papers that we want to put in some of our tuck spots, because you know there's envelopes and there's things like that. So I will show you what I have done here. So just regular exercise paper. I have torn it jaggedy edges all the way around, and I folded it so that it looks somewhat, oh, I hope I'm on camera. I folded it so that it looks somewhat like an envelope. And then I have antiqued the edges like that, and there's a couple of them over there. Then I have gone ahead and I've made them in various sizes and put a stamp on them. So there's a nice little note that you can now tuck into a tuck spot. This one here, I've put a piece of a torn out book, and I used a sticker. And there again, and this is from a notepad, by the way. That's these little notepads that I also get from the dollar store, and I had some lying around the house. So I keep them all in one spot now, and I use them for making these little notes and tucking into tuck spots in the book. Anyway, so that's that. That was just a piece of doily that I happen to have, and I've turned it into a little note. And here is another one. I like the stamp just on the closure there. It looks like there might be like a little button or something, some kind of closure, but of course it's not. It's just a stamp. So they make a nice note. This one here is made out of colored paper, and I have made a little paper collage like I was saying. So I have a piece of music sheet, I have a little piece of fabric, another little piece of fabric, and I included some thread just to give it that old world look. And here's a different kind over here. I stamped down this side and put a stamp on the closure like that. And this is how I made them. So you just grab your piece of notepad and decide where I thought this would be nice to have showing in the front. And as we did with our envelopes, I'm just going to fold that over like that. Grab my scissors, which are just over there, And then I'm going to just do a rounded edge like that. And then I'm going to antique all the way around the edges. And there's your little note. There's your little note, just like that. So I have made, get those out the way. I've made one here. So that's exactly what I just showed you there. And there's a little note, and I've antiqued all around the edges. And here's a smaller one, and I have done the same as well. And I've put a couple of stamps in. So, you know, it just finishes up the look. Anyway, so those are our notes, little notes like that. This one over here, I'm just going to, this is pink. I'm not sure if you can see that on camera, but it's actually a pink piece of dyed paper. And I'm going to just go ahead and do, let's do just a plain little heart. Where's my pad? Here's my little stamp pad over here. Put that on there. And I'm going to ink that up and just do a little heart exactly over there, just like that. There you go, and that's all it needs. So that's a nice little note to put in your tuck spot. So guys, those are all the bits and pieces that we're going to put in our journal. So I am going to go ahead, grab my journal, and we are going to go through and start to insert things into our journals. So I'm hoping to get this done on this video without running out of time. So I'm literally going to go through and just pop things in pockets. So we'll put one over there. There's one over there. And that is, you know, there's no rhyme or reason to this. You can change them up afterwards, but I'm literally just going to go through and do this. So over here, I'm going to put one of my little notes. Let's have a look here. A little note like that in there. There's another little tuck spot. And let's see, go through here. In my pockets, I have just used index cards, and I have antiqued the edges. Oh, I forgot to do the back, but I'll go back and do that. And I'm slipping those into the envelopes that we made like that. I'm not going to do anything else with them. I think it's just a journaling card, and I'm going to leave it as it is like that. So let's go through here. This one here, I'm going to pop. How about that? It has some nice green on it. We'll put that in there. This is another pocket, and I have an index card that I've just antiqued the edges, and that's going in there, and we'll just leave that in there as is. Here's a nice, let's add some pink in there. Let's put that in there and flip through. Here's a little tuck spot, and I am going to add that into there like that. And another little envelope here. Excuse me, a little tuck spot there. And another tuck spot, and I've got an index card in there, and they're just plain old index cards, and I'm leaving them exactly as they are for our journaler to add her words to. So there we go. Here's a nice little tuck spot over there, and I think I might add something with a little bit of pink on it. Let's see here. That adds a nice little bit of interest on the side over there. So I'm going to add that into there, and we'll come back to our paper clips. There's a nice little spot over there, and I think I might add a little note like that. And here's another tuck spot, and I think that looks like a nice place for a bright colored card. So I'm going to put that. The greens kind of tie in. We have a bit of green going on here and the different colors, so I think that looks nice. Don't be too fussy, just put them in, and then you can always switch them up when you come back. And here's another one. I'm going to put that in there like that. And you'll notice, guys, that I actually ripped my book here. I was doing something and it ripped, and so I just said to myself, well, that just adds interest to my journal. So I antiqued along the edges there, and it's staying exactly as it is in the journal, and I like that effect. It's just what it's meant to be. A card in here, another tuck spot over here. So I am going to add, which one should I add here? I'm going to add, where'd they go? Where'd they go? I'm going to add this one, but I think I need to add a little stamp to it. So I'm just going to grab a stamp. Let's do that lovely butterfly. Let's do that. Okay, I'm going to put that on there. And this. So just when you thought you were almost done, here we are still adding little bits of everything. And you know what? That's crafting for you. It's a labor of love, an absolute labor of love. You keep working. Every time you look at it, you say, oh, I think I'm going to add this, or I think I'm just going to add a bit more shading there, or put a clip here, or do something else. A labor of love. There's you can keep going and never end, so you have to draw the line sooner or later. It makes me think that you know, have you ever been to a craft show? We leave those all hanging out the top. How sweet is that? You ever been to a craft show and there is the lady making her jewelry, and you say, and you ask what the price is, and she says, I don't know, whatever it is, and you think to yourself, oh my goodness, that's kind of expensive. And then think about the work that goes into that craft that she's just produced, and you'll come to the realization, once you become a crafter, that you'll never recover your money, and you never get people to understand that, honestly, it's just a labor of love. It's a labor of love. So you just learn to appreciate other people's work that they've put into their craft when you see it, and they tell you what the price is. Anyway, this is the card that I made for my girlfriend, the tea time card. I made a little pocket at the back. I put a fabric tab on it and a little piece of lace. I glued it on. I put my little tea bag in there and my little note, and I will write a note to her, and I'm going to pop that in there so she will discover that when she's in her journal. There's another tuck spot there, another and this one we don't need anything because that has all of its stuff there. And here's a little tuck spot right here, and I think I might, well, looks like a nice combination of colors there. I'm going to pop that one in there. You see how it all comes together. You know, when you're making the cards, if you stick with your the general hues of what you like in your journal, you will see that everything comes together. Even though every card is different and it seems like there's no theme going on, there really is. Let's put some, what should we put in there? We'll put that lovely little lady in there. There we go. This journal is getting quite fat. There you go. Some might say too fat. This lady is sitting here embroidering, so I thought I'm going to include a little piece of embroidery fabric. I'm going to trace a little embroidery flower on there, and I'm going to put a couple of threads on and keep the needle, and I think I'm going to staple that on there. Then my journaler can choose to do that little piece of embroidery or not. It just becomes an interesting thing for the book. So that's what I'm going to do, and I was inspired by this little lady sitting here embroidering. And I'm not really digging that guy that much either, so I wanted to just hide him a little. Here's another one, so let's put something, let's put this one, that, oh, why not? No, I think I'm going to put, gosh, let's not be too fussy here, I think I'm going to put the butterfly in there, like that. Okay, there we go. I'm just going through looking for my tuck spots is all I'm doing. There we go. I've already slipped one in here. I made a little tiny one. I need to put something on the back there or not. Maybe it's just going to be a little bookmark or something like that. Something's got to go in there, and let's find something. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's that. Nope, too tall, too tall, too tall. Maybe it is, maybe it's this one. Yeah, let's slip that one in there. Okay. Go through. There we go. Let's have a look here. So I would love to see your journal cards, guys. I bet they're looking really beautiful, really beautiful. There we go. Here's another little tuck spot, and that's a perfect place for that. I love this exercise paper. It's light and it's flimsy, and it was stark white, but now that I've antiqued the edges, it's given it that aged look, and it looks like it's just meant to be in an old journal, doesn't it? There's another one. I'm going to, what should I put there? Will that fit in there? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. I think I have something smaller here. How about that? How about that? Let's put that in there. This one, let's see. Where's our tree going? I'm gonna put, maybe I think I'm gonna put that one in there. That goes nicely there. And here again, we don't need to do anything here because it's we've already filled those pockets when we were doing the journal. There you go. There's an index there. Here's another one right over here. And you see how fat this journal is getting. My goodness me. My goodness me. Okay, let's see. I think I might pop that one in there. Pop that one in there, and I might just leave that hanging over the edge like that. And here, if this is not too, no, I decided that was going to be the back. There we go. There's a good place for that one, and I'm just going to leave the words sticking out like that. And in my back pocket here, I thought I would slip this one in there, just like that. Like that. Just, I can pop that underneath like that. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I won't do that. Maybe I'm going to put something else in there. We'll come back to that, guys. So we have those all filled up. I have some extra ones here that we can, as we go through it again, I will pop those into the book. So I'm just going to put that to the side, and we are now going to move on to the envelopes and the overflow of other things that I have here. So there's another journal card. My little notes, I am going to put those in somewhere. These are the envelopes. Let me just move that there. These are the envelopes that we made earlier, and I'm going to leave them empty so that our journaler can put some things in there, perhaps some little notes that she has. And I cut the exercise paper, and I'm going to just glue these on here. So I'm just going to grab my piece of paper. I'm not going to do them all on camera. I will glue one on here, and then I will go through afterwards and glue them on, because I'm trying to motor along here, guys. I'm so sorry for my filming. As I said to you before, I have zero capacity to edit my videos, except I learned how to do add a picture on the front and the back. I'm learning Canva, and I think there's lots of things you can do in Canva, and I learned how to do the intro, the picture on the front and the picture on the back, and that's as far as I've got. But when my video comes to an end and it suddenly stops, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to edit it to make it more elegant. I just don't. So that's one. This one here I have already done. I've already glued this on. I just added a little journal spot here with some dictionary paper. There's another little, these, I'm just get those out the way. This is an envelope. It's a tiny little envelope that I found in my stash. You can make one if you don't happen to have any, but I put a piece of book paper on, and then I put a little piece of fabric like a faux stamp, and then in one of my books I found some handwriting looking writing, and I cut it out and I stuck it on there almost so that it looked like a little letter that would go through the mail. So those we're going to tuck somewhere into the book as well. This is interesting. This is just 2 pieces of our exercise paper. I had previously coffee dyed these. You can coffee dye your own, let them dry out and use them in your journal, but I happen to have these. Or just use, if you want to make one of these, just use our regular exercise paper. So what I did is I cut them, I tore them roughly the same size. Some of them are a little too smaller. And then I stapled the spine. Now, I do not have a long mouth stapler. I think that's what they called. So I kind of had to fold the page like that and then slip my stapler on like that and staple. And I made sure that the straight edges were down the spine, and I made a little booklet. So here's something that provides another journaling opportunity. So those are fun to tuck into the spots as well. And I will go through off camera and get all of these excess things tucked into the book. Okay. These were the notes. We went through those. So I'm going to put those aside. You know how to do those now. Envelopes, I've done the decorating the same as well. These were the envelopes we made earlier, and I've just decorated it with a piece of coffee dyed paper that I've ripped and a piece of brown paper, and so on and so forth. Here they are here, and there you go. I used a sticker finally. This one here, I liked the pictures on this one. It's absolutely beautiful, and they continued on the back, and I honestly didn't want to cover that up, but I thought to myself that would be nice. There's nothing going on here, so I just used a piece of dyed paper, and I cut just a little fold to glue on here, and that provides a journaling opportunity here, and I will glue that on. And the same with this one over here. I am going to glue that on for journaling opportunity. And the same with that one there. Anyway, guys, that is it. I think our journals are absolutely ready for completion. All we have to do is now go pin our little charms on. So I'm going to end this video, get the book stuffed, and we will come back and put the charms on, and we'll do a flip through and see how beautiful our books look. So thank you so much, and I do hope that this has been helpful for you, and would love to hear from you and see your journals. Thank you.